crazy.
I was just a hard-working musician at any capacity, and I used to play clubs since I was 16. You know, I used to play drums and sing lead vocals from behind the drums until I got older. Then I became a front man. But you know, I never ever until I started doing like I played with a couple tribute bands in LA, and the Atomic Punks was one of them. And we used to do the 5150 side of it, which was all the Sammy stuff. And so that was my chance to be exposed to, you know, the House of Blues in Hollywood, and playing several, you know, and having like Ray Luzier sitting in the front row watching us play and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was fortunate to have a lot of friends that were actually happening in the scene, you know what I'm saying? And so until I actually got a brief taste of being able to be part of that, you know, it's kind of all after the fact. But listen, I'm glad I got to meet Dennis. You know, he's had more experience in the industry than I. He brings a lot of wisdom to this and experience, you know what I mean? And so I just I plug in where I need be. So, and that's screaming. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's it. Hey, that's what lead vocals are about. I mean, you got to get up there and, you know, take control, huh?
Listen, I'm still trying to listen. I've got a face for radio, okay, and I'm, you know, I'm just kidding.
Come on.
But maybe no. But it's more for me. It's more about people feeling the story. You know what I mean? And sometimes I think it's more important, you know, verbally than it is with activity. You know what I'm saying? All that, you know, all that helps. You know what I'm saying? But I think being true to the song and stuff is singing it like it should be sung. You know.
Agree. I totally agree. How about you, Dennis? Tell us about that, you know, the New York scene and how you saw it coming up.
New York was a pretty it was a real diverse place in the 80s, man, and especially the 90s. You know, I mean, you could just, I mean, there was so many clubs, and you could see, you know, Lamore's, you could see Metallica, Armored Saint, Lost. I mean, that was like the first time I met, you know, a rock star, Joey Vera, and
oh man,
from Armored Saint.
Nice guy too.
Chris Holmes was in the bathroom, and I was like peeing next to him as a little, like, you know, 14-year-old kid. And they were just as nice as you could be, man. You know, they, you know, and then, you know, as time progressed, you could see, you know, so many different bands, you know, so many different genres and stuff. I mean, from Circus of Power to the Chili Peppers, you know, you'd have Bad Brains, you know, you'd have Agnostic Front, you know, so New York was like a little bit of everything, you know. I didn't move out to LA until like the mid 90s, you know, and it wasn't the same scene it was in the 80s. I had visited in the 80s, you know, it was different, you know, it seemed a lot more toned down and stuff. New York definitely had more of a scene because you had like CBGBs, you had the Limelight, you know, you had like Sundance on Long Island and Club Raw in Queens, and there was just a ton of places to go and hang out, you know.
That's cool. Like both of you guys, you know, even though being on separate coasts, still had that, you know, you were influenced by the same things.
Absolutely.
At that time, and really that time was such a special time too. I mean, you know, just being a young guy, and you know how this influenced me, you know, as a fan, and how it still does, and the appreciation I have for what you guys do and what you've done is what makes me love doing this, being able to talk to, you know, musicians and hear the backstories of the things, because it makes me not only a better fan, but a better listener too.
You know, back when I was doing the club scene here in Washington State, Portland, Oregon, Washington, I was fortunate. I lived right down the street from Queensryche,
nice.
on Avondale in Redmond. You know, right when they first released their first like EP, their 4 songs, like, you know, Queen of the Reich and all that stuff, Lady Wore Black, and
that's the best stuff.
Yeah, those guys, those guys were like managed by a married couple who managed them, and they had a record store in Bellevue, I believe, you know. And when those guys got picked up, they used to come out with their entourage and their stretches and stuff and come out and see us play when we were covering stuff. You know what I mean? That was a compliment. But they could probably go any place, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I was fortunate to get to play with Roger Fisher after Heart split up. We were the youngest group of guys. We were a good draw and stuff. And we used to open for those guys all the time. They were called 10 Bulls. And
Cool.
he was an interesting cat, Roger is. But yeah,
that's cool.
Listen, everybody from around here, you know, it's like I used to play with, well, I met all the guys that were the original members of Queensryche when they were Myth. And that was with Kelly Gray and all those guys. And there was a big discrepancy about who wrote this. And, you know, it goes way back,
right.
you know what I'm saying? But I got to be a part of meeting a lot of people, you know, that actually got to make it in the industry, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just happy that I'm able to make music. And I feel fortunate too that Dennis or anyone who's interested in hearing my voice at this capacity and stuff, I thank you. So I appreciate that.
That's cool. You know, both of you guys have you got some really good, you know, backstories. I mean, things that you've done in the past, and I know, you know, Mark, you know, your situation with Quiet Riot, and you know, I thought you were a great fit there because, you know, trying to match, you know, obviously the glory days with Kevin and everything, and I know that had to be a tough, you know, situation for them to find somebody, which it obviously was. I mean, and to let alone keep somebody. But I always thought that, you know, when you got there, I thought your voice was a good match for Kevin's. I mean, I thought that was, hey, this guy, you know, this is a good fit. So what,
you know, I feel fortunate that I was approached about that, and I feel blessed that I was a part of that project. I learned a lot about the industry, and
Right.
Filling the shoes of a dead person, I don't recommend anybody trying to have that job. And good luck making anyone happy on that deal.
Right.
I mean, it just kind of gives people the capacity to jump on their little platform and do this stuff, and that's fine. I don't. That's all.
That's the business. I mean,
yeah, you know what I mean. But if anybody's ever going to like see another band with any different member than the original lineup and stuff, no one's going to be satisfied. Nobody will. Over time, you know, sure, you like this, nah, but it's still a bunch of back and forth kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so Quiet Riot was probably, they approached me, and it probably wasn't a best fit for me because, you know what I mean? I had to learn that music. You know what I mean? It wasn't like something that I just was able to pull out and effectively do it. But I did it, you know, out of the pride of being asked to learn that, you know what I'm saying? And for whatever capacity, I mean, I don't think I was ever the first singer that they ever looked for. I think they had other people in mind and stuff. I was probably like someone that was able to fill that position. And I just wasn't that person. You know, I had a health issue and stuff, and that all kind of turned into what it was. But listen, you know, Frankie and I, we buried a hatchet. You know, I felt fortunate to be able to close that deal with him before he moved on. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what real people do. You know, you don't carry grudges, and you don't carry that kind of stuff around until you take the dirt nap. Take care of it now and talk about it now and move on. You know what I mean? And so that's all that I've tried to do with Dennis, his assistants, you know what I'm saying? And he's kept me positive about staying involved in the industry at whatever capacity. So I don't care where it goes, as long as I can do it every day.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? Serious. So
that's really cool. That's very well put too, because, you know, you said that too. There's so many people that hold things, you know, grudges. I mean, especially in music, you know, you could bring up Sebastian Bach and Skid Row and, you know, any of those stories, but, you know, to be able to put that behind you, I mean, that's a, you know, relief on your heart, on your head, you know, and
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
it's great to hear you back though. You know,
Thank you. I
and
appreciate that.
I really give you kudos. I mean, obviously the things you went through, and we don't have to dig into that. And I just I admire people that they can do that. Have the strength to come back and really do this. And believe me, we as fans, support the hell out of you,
Well, listen,
no matter what you
I
do.
appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
We do, we do. So you guys, we'll get into Dennis now and your background, Dennis. When Amanda sent me the stuff, I looked at it. I said, "Holy shit, this guy's, he's been involved here, with some big names, and that's pretty cool. Tell us about that. I mean, she gave me the list here, but I'll let you speak on that. I mean, some of the people you worked with, and some of the background that you have.
Who do you want to know about?
You name it, man. I saw the list there, and she has a P Diddy on here, and it's such a diverse amount of music right there. I mean, going from one style to another. Just tell us about that. Like just some of the.
Well, that was New York. At the time I was playing in a band called Plastique, and very, very big band. And they were one of the first bands to do the hip hop metal kind of thing, and we did shows with Kid Rock and stuff, and this has got to be like, I don't know, late '90s or whatever. So of course P Diddy and Daddy's House and stuff had to get involved with it, and they told me to be there on a Sunday morning at about 8 in the morning, and it must have been the weekend of like an award show or something,
Right.
Because I came up the elevator at 8 o'clock in the morning in the middle of Times Square. I don't know why they wanted me there so early, but I get up the elevator and the doors open, and the hallway to the recording studio was just filled with flowers. I mean, from the floor to the ceiling, it was like a tunnel of bouquet flowers. And I started like looking at some of these, best wishes, Sting, congratulations, some other huge name, it was just like down the line, Elton John. Oh, this,
Oh man,
it was unbelievable. And the girl she was at the, there was a girl at the end of the hall sitting behind a desk. She said, those guys are going to be here for a while, so the kitchen is there. And I proceeded to make her and I breakfast. And they didn't show up there until like at least like 7, 8 o'clock. So we were there the whole day, just kicking back, eating, and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, good times.
That's a cool story. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. When you think about that, you're walking through the hallway and looking at all that best wishes, and then somebody you don't even know, you're walking in and as a guest, and you're cooking breakfast.
There was a couple of guys from
That's a
Buzz
pretty
Bubble
great
there,
story,
Buzz
man.
Bubble.
Hey, I can imagine the things you guys see in the music business. I mean, just talking to the people that I talk to and my circle of friends and stuff. It's there's no business like it. I can just imagine what you guys have seen inside.
Listen, I signed a contract that I can't repeat anything, so there's nothing I can share with you.
That's cool. So, Dennis, what about did you get a chance to do any recording with those people? I mean, what was like some of the stories behind that?
Was that?
You mean are you talking to Dennis? You talking to me about recording with who?
Well, I'm talking to Dennis, to follow up on that story, like any of those, bands that you actually recorded with and had a chance to do things with.
Yeah, well, I did some recordings for, the whole Daddy's House camp over there. There was a fellow over there named John Eaton, and he had stuff for Little Kim and Notorious B.I.G. and Mace. Yeah, he had like all of them over there. So yeah, I just played. It was kind of like, you know, they were he let me do whatever I wanted to do on it. So you know, I just threw in some like Eddie taps and some Randy Rhoads taps and just kind of put that over, and it really gelled with, you know, those beats, you know, that they had.
Right.
And I don't know if you heard the Little Kim song, you know, that song that's up on Dragon City Demo or whatever, but she just came down and she's just like spit fire. I mean, she was like boom, you know.
Right.
And that was great to see, you know, because they were all really the nicest people, and, you know, super duper professional, super pro down the line. And you know, I got to see like the whole studio and stuff. It was like, you know, like the deck on the Star Trek, you know what I mean? It was just the biggest recording board I ever
That's
saw in my
cool.
life. It must have been, you know, 500, 400 tracks, you know?
That's crazy. Yeah, I can't even imagine that. That's pretty cool. You know, just talking to you guys, I mean, you know, you look at the backgrounds and everything of both of you. I think it's there's some really good things coming. I could see it. You know what I mean? With just listening to, you know, what you guys did and you know, and are working on right now. When you guys go into, you know, say you're going to record something, you obviously have the new single out there. When you wanted to do that, what is it like for you as artists, as in the recording process? Say, you know, do you go in and Mark, is it something that you look at vocally when you go in to write a song? And Dennis, is it like a hook? Is it a riff? What's it like for you guys in a writing process?
Well, for me,
my end, you know, like what Mark said before, you know, we'll just kind of like mull some stuff over and see what's in our wheelhouse, you know, and we'll just you know, we'll start cracking at it. You know, when it feels good, you know, I ship it out to Mark, and, you know, Mark does his thing on it, and, you know.
and a lot of times Dennis will have some like concrete ideas all the way down through the song, you know, from the instrumentation to the vocals to even a lead line, you know, for the vocals and stuff. And sometimes, you know, I'm a better collaborator than I am an actual writer, to be honest with you. I mean, I've written many songs that I would probably never let anybody hear, but you know what I'm saying. But no,
Oh yeah.
I try to use my vocal tool to enhance any ideas that are sent my way, you know what I mean? And I just try to do it justice, you know what I mean? And so,
Right.
but I've got great melody ideas and stuff, you know, and we bounce stuff back and forth as far as like changing words, doing this, doing that, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about, sometimes it's spur of the moment. And that's the most exciting for me. Because listen, I love a challenge that way, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? And I'm
right.
never in a big hurry and stuff, but I just send in the tracks when I feel good about them. And sometimes he thinks, are you ready? Really? Sure. And, you know, and he's usually always pleased with the stuff I send his way. So, and all of his ideas are great. It makes it easy for me to contribute, you know,
Right.
so it's all good.
Mark brings his A
That's
game,
cool.
you know, every time, man. We want to do anything, you know, always on his A game, man. And it's a pleasure, man. It really is. I mean, it makes things easy, and you know, Mark is real diverse, man. You know, I mean, you know, the guy you're looking at right now can sing anything, you know, not just, you know, this, that, or the other thing, you know what I mean? And he'll sing it in his own original way, you know, that's taken, you know, decades to develop, man. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, and
Right.
you know, we try to just do our best with it, you know, and yeah, you know, I mean, you know, you have some ups and downs. There's an old saying in what is it, NASCAR, stock car racing, you know, if you don't have any dents or any bruises on your car, you really ain't racing. You
Right,
know?
that's it.
So
That was yeah, Robin is racing. That was Earnhardt.
Yeah,
said
you
something
know,
like that. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
you know,
Yep.
we just get out there, man, and try to do our job and bang it out, you know, and do the best we can with it, man. Mark's always brings his A game, man.
That's
Always,
cool.
always A gamer, man,
What do you guys think about, a lot of artists I talk to, I mean, obviously the recording process is different now than it used to be. It's not all the guys going into studio and hammering it out. It's, hey, this guy has an idea here and he sends it here. And do you guys feel that works better? Or did you like the old style, like when you used to go into a studio with the actual band? And what's the differences for you guys, and which option do you like better, if either?
I think that we have to adapt and overcome. You know what I mean? As far as, listen, I used to paint this guy's. He was like an AM radio jock from my hometown, and bought a big old classic house in town and turned his whole basement into a studio. Back in the day and stuff. And so I used to like earn studio time by going and help.
There you go.
And there's a different thing about sitting in a studio and collaborating and writing and doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There's a different kind of energy, I think, when people are actually in the same realm,
Right.
But I think we do pretty good about how we communicate and how we do this now, because we really don't have any choice for the ones that we're doing right now until we can physically get closer and do that kind of stuff. But I think technology's changed so much, and it's making it easier for us to respond quickly and do those kinds of things, and then it's all about it all getting mastered in one spot anyway. So I miss parts of going to the studio, I do. But like I said, you got to adapt and overcome, you know what I mean? Otherwise things will pass you by, man.
That's it. You feel, I guess Dennis feels the same way. I could tell. He's got the
technology today is amazing. I remember going into studios, in the 80s and the 90s, and it would take, a week, 2 weeks just to get the drums.
Right.
That takes a long time, and analog is, that's a long time also. I was a sound man for a long time in a lot of the clubs and in a lot of the studios. Cutting tape is not fun, and analog is a total different. It's a different animal, man, than what Pro Tools is and stuff like that. And that took us a while to, learn and stuff. I didn't just jump into that, I have two studios actually. I have an analog studio and I have a digital studio, and sometimes we'll run, digital tracks, through the analog board, just to give it a real warm sound and that kind of stuff, and vice versa. Today is like, you pretty much can do anything you want with music,
Right. I'm always curious about how artists write, and the things that they do, because it's like you said, there's so much out there, and not only that process, but just like what we're doing right here now. I mean, the amount of technology that's involved, and the things that keep changing. It's
absolutely.
It's mind-boggling. I don't even know how to even say it any more plain than that.
Yeah.
It's not.
But it's cool. It's cool because we can do this.
I know. I love doing this because it's kind of like that campfire, only it's on the digital, but that's it.
Yeah.
You guys did a covers album, Undercover, in 2021.
Yeah.
I have it in my notes right here, but some cool songs on this too. I mean, Over the Mountain opens it, and Mob Rules, Mississippi Queen, Immigrant Song. And I love that you did Say What You Will. I always love Fastway, and I like the way Mark delivers that one vocally. That's cool. What was a little bit of story behind that one right there? I mean, picking out those songs, and what was that about? What was it like doing that one?
It was kamikaze covers, man.
We just finished that. It was COVID, and we were just stuck in the house, and we did a we did the Roads to Riot EP before that. And it was just on the tail end of the Gorazima sessions that we were doing in Seattle. So we were just, home, with nothing else better to do, but just bang out some covers just to, keep the fingers, moving and the voice happening and just
Right.
the equipment from getting dusty, so that was all that was,
Yeah, but Dennis, be real, man, because it's about, listen, you've always like played tribute to all of the great guitar players in any of the covers that we've ever done. You know what I mean? From Randy Rhoads to, think about it, Leslie West, rest his soul, you know what I'm saying? Even the Clark guy, with Fastway, you know what I mean? A lot of people have come and gone and shared their skills with us and stuff and left an impression and stuff. So I think for any of that stuff that gets lost in the shuffle, it's kind of worth the time spent to kind of bring it back to the surface and let people hear it again. Maybe through somebody else's eyes and words, so.
Yeah, I mean, I did tribute bands I was in an Aussie tribute band here on Long Island for 21 years. I was actually in two of them, and a Pantera tribute band and a Metallica tribute band. And back then it was actually good money. It was really good money back then to play in a tribute band.
Right.
When we still had clubs here on Long Island, I mean, yeah, and that was a lot of fun. We went up and down the East Coast and Puerto Rico, and I love those guys. I love Randy, and Jake and Zach and all those dudes. That's just cool shit to play. It's fun, I can dig into that stuff,
Yeah, man, that's the best.
Go ahead,
Mark.
I think because people ask me, what my tastes are in music and what were my biggest influences, and I think because I like music, period, and I've tried to cover a lot of different things, and I've been successful at both ends. You know what I'm saying? But it's about, how do you say it? Anybody that ever made a hit in the industry influenced me. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to sing with Doc Severinsen from the Tonight Show.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she used to travel up and down the Columbia Gorge and stuff during World War II, and she'd play at Bond rallies and stuff like that, and that's my mother. I mean, she could sing anything, you know what I mean? And the last thing that I ever thought in my life is that her genes would affect me, because I mean, I was asked to start singing, and I was playing drums, and I was happy doing that, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
Any of my range, my vocal skills, I've had no schooling when it comes to that other than just grade school stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it's a gift, you know what I'm saying? I sang country western to my wife at our wedding. I can
That's
sing
cool.
anything, you know what I mean? You want to hear some Patsy Cline? What do you want to hear? And I'm just kidding. You want to hear some Guns N' Roses and some AC/DC? I'll give it all to you, no problem.
That's cool because when you write things, it makes it so much easier when you have a diverse vocalist too. A guy that, hey, I can write a ballad here, I can write something heavier here, I can write something mid-tempo, and he can hit everything.
I listen, and Dennis has taken advantage of that with me, and I'm sure we'll do more of that in the future, from our original stuff to doing any of these kamikaze covers that we may be doing. So
I
we
think it's
just
cool.
did the Dio. We just did a volume 1 for Ronnie. We did like I don't know, 15 Ronnie Dio songs from Rainbow, and pretty much covered the realm for that. We did that for we did that originally I think for Niji Management. Paul Anuma over there, and Wendy, Miss Wendy, and that's a great volume right there. We actually have a volume 2 with another 15 Dio songs. So we'll probably be coming out with that sometime before Christmas. We got a lot in our back pockets, man. We got a lot of music, this is what we do,
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, that's nice though, to have that full arsenal though. I mean, be able to, put stuff out, have it ready. You know, and
Yeah, we can release something every week for the next 3 years if we want to. I mean, you know, we got a lot of music, man. A lot of chops, a lot of firepower in this band, man. You know, Bobby Ham is a great fucking bass player, and Christian Menino is just an amazing drummer, man. I mean, these guys really just bring their A game, man. They've been playing, you know, we all been doing this for decades, man.
Right.
You know, we didn't just start doing this, you know, in our bedrooms and start a YouTube channel, and you know, we didn't learn music from YouTube or anything like that. You know, we had to learn it old school with vinyl and tapes, and you know, so they're great guys, and you know, I'm really glad that you really you dig the stuff, man. It really means a lot to me, John.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us on here and sharing the stuff for sure.
Hey, anytime, guys. I love having you on. It's nice to sit and talk to music and hear you know, the musicians' take. I just sit back and take it all in. I enjoy it. You know, like I said, I love what you guys do. You know, I think it's cool to see, you know, artists that really have that passion, and there's so many of the artists that do have that passion, and it's you know, it's an art. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a very special art. It's the best art that there could possibly be, in my opinion, because it touches so many people. It affects so many people, and it's not an art where you have to look at the wall and try to figure out what the hell it is. You know, it's, hey, I like this song, and I like this song. It doesn't matter. It's a good song. You know, that I just think that's the ultimate expression right there.
That really means a lot, man, coming from you, and you know, that's why we do it. You know, it really does mean a lot to us, guys like you, that can get into it and share the same. I mean, you must be a metalhead for a while, like us, man. You know,
Oh yeah,
again, the Steeler record and stuff like that. I mean, you must go back a long way too. You know, metal's still great, man. I still love it, and I love the fans, and I love the support, and it's just great to be able to play. You know, it took us a little while to recover from the whole, you know, the COVID stuff, and you know, that put out a lot of clubs, man, on Long Island. That, like, you know, 5 or 6 nightclubs went out of business that used to host live bands. So we're only down to like 1 or 2 different places that actually have live bands.
wow.
You know, so it's a little rough in New York at the moment, but it's getting back on track. You know, anybody's out there now certainly deserves to be out there. You know, I saw some cool videos. M3, I thought a lot of the bands really brought their A game, dude. Even Quiet Riot, I thought they were running on all cylinders, man. And I thought, you know, the Monsters of Rock cruise, I thought all the bands on that brought their A game. Also, Stephen Piercy and his band and those guys, you know, Stephen's really cool, and probably one of the nicest guys in the business. And yeah, I see a lot of people out there, man, bringing it, you know. So
Hey,
we're trying to do the same.
and think about it. Stephen Piercy, he was sick, you know what I'm saying? And he's overcoming his health issue, man. And look at him stepping up and still, you know what I mean? Look at all that stuff that goes back and forth with that band and the original lineup and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And kudos to him. You know what I mean? He's
Absolutely.
kind of kept a pretty level about all of it and stuff, and he still just wants to make music, man. So amen.
Yeah, amen. Bless him with that.
That's a great band. He's one of the guys I'd love to get on the show. I'm working on that right now, because I've been such a fan of Rat. You know, I mean, for since '84, first time I heard those guys, and Steven's solo stuff too. You know, I don't think that he gets enough credit for that, because those are some great albums right there.
Oh yeah, man. He's got, yeah. Even going back to the arcade stuff was cool. You know, right. Yeah, Steven is always moving. You know, he's a writer, and he's a real rocker, man. You know, bona fide rocker. And you know, I sent him tons of songs, you know, and ideas and this, that, and the other thing. And you know, he's always super cool. I thought one of his last singles, "You Only Live Twice," That's a really cool song. I
Right,
think
right.
Eric, his guitar player, Ferentinos, I think he is recovering from a heart attack, but Eric is a super cool dude, and he's an amazing player also, man. Those guys got a good team together over there. Yeah.
I think you guys got one here too. I really do. I mean, I'm really looking forward to hearing, the original stuff that you guys. I'm sure you got a ton planned already.
They're,
We don't
they're
even have
gonna
to
they're
get into
gonna be
that.
coming, man. They're coming hard and heavy. We got a bunch of stuff that we're gonna be doing this year, man. And we'll probably have, I don't know, at least 10 more singles coming out before the holiday season.
That's great. Now, is this going to be something where you guys are going to, I'll get into this part too. Now that you brought that up, is the way artists release things nowadays. Still like with metal and everything, the guys bring out albums and obviously full length stuff, but a lot of the things nowadays are singles and
Yeah.
pushing those. And how
Yeah.
do you guys feel about that? I mean, what's the strategy from Steel Mountain Crossing when you go in? Is it going to be, hey, we're going to go with a new version, or is it going to be an album? How's that going to work out?
A lot of what I've heard too in the industry about a lot of people talking about album size and just how marketable it is, and how long will somebody listen to 10, 11, 12 songs? Well, why not 9? Why not 8? You know what I mean?
Right.
I've heard it all, what I'm saying? It's all in reflection of, how people want to stream or how they want to digest their music, you know what I mean? So we'll just have to see. We're willing to kind of swerve through this and figure it out, for sure. We got enough songs to do that. So
That's cool.
The singles have been working great. Bandcamp is a pretty cool place for us to release our music and get paid, and they don't take much money out. The Spotify's and those kind of things. I don't know. We're pretty happy with Dragon City Bandcamp, man, and the YouTube. I had a cousin who was on Spotify and she did 500,000 downloads or whatever, and they paid her like, I don't know, $54. They got it. It was like,
That's crazy.
what is that for? That's like a year's worth of that's like 500,000 worth of downloads. I mean,
Right.
So yeah.
yeah, keep your day job though. No, unless you can write the biggest hit ever wrote, you know what I'm saying, and then amen. But
Right.
I always got to keep a little side gig going on to keep some revenue trickle, So.
It's really a shame too. I mean, and that's why, I always try to pull everybody together, like, my friends, my followers, and like say, hey, really support these bands because, how long are these bands going to be around, or relevant, and how long are they going to be able to do what they do? Because we have something special here. So if you don't support, you knock these guys down, then you knock the younger guys down that are trying to carry the torch. Somebody's got to, grab onto this and bring it back. And that's, I hope it comes back, guys. I feel it's getting stronger. I feel that there's a lot of good young bands that are still doing this too. And, and you guys still doing it is tremendous. I mean, for the fans.
There's a lot of good stuff out there. Unfortunately, the websites and the labels, they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it kind of just it's kind of like the fucking horse is fucking dead, bro. I mean,
Right.
You can't milk a dead horse. I mean, and there's plenty of bands out there, that are really, definitely able to, be cultivated and become like, A-listers. Crypta, I think Crypta is slamming. I mean, those girls know how to, put on a fucking metal show, and a lot of new people out there, man. It's unfortunate that, a lot of them don't get the attention they deserve. you know, be it whether it's Spotify or this, that, or the other thing. You know, it's hard to go out on tour. It's hard to support a band with a boss. And I mean, you look at a band like Mayhem. I mean, those guys have been doing it forever, and you know, they just do everything themselves. They're like just the fucking tank. They just keep rolling. You know, they do their own merch. They do their own the buses. I mean, that's all them, man. You know, Necro, you know, runs that band. You know, those guys always bring their A game. You know, and they don't really need Spotify. They don't need anybody, you know, because they're always going to just keep banging it out.
Right. Yeah, once you get that following, you know, and you stick with a system that works,
Yeah,
you know, too, and it's good that those guys are still plugging away too. You know, it's
sure.
you know, how do you guys feel about you know, the state of the industry now? You know, just as a, you know, now that we're discussing it, I know obviously I'm not a huge fan of streaming. I like the fact that, yeah, I can listen to this stuff right now, but I still miss the old, you know, opening up the vinyl and enjoying the whole experience, you know, the CDs, even having that booklet there and all the music and being able to sing along with the songs too. You know, you see the pictures, it's a whole experience. What do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that that's you know, I know it's never going to make an entirely, you know, full comeback, but do you feel like it's making at least a little bit of debt?
I have a friend who owns a record store on the peninsula, you know, across the sound, and he imports vinyl from Europe, and he's pretty much, his place is banging pretty good. I mean, he's selling a lot of, yeah. So I mean, I think that stuff will make a comeback for people, you know, for certain ages. You know, to people, even younger people that, you know, didn't know anything about it and wanted to hear what it sounded like that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's some hope in it for sure. I don't know if it'll be the way to flip to as far as thinking it's going to be more profitable, but I think it will add, as far as like with like anything else. It's usually touring, and it's usually, you know, merchandise, and it's, you know, selling stuff, and however you can sell it, whether it's streams, whether it's CDs, whatever, you know. I think I like CDs, I like albums, I like vinyl, I like that stuff. And, you know, I've got a stack of old ones that are probably worth something, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the chance that, yeah, I got signed stuff, you know what I mean? So I hope so. I hope it puts some money back in somebody's pocket for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tougher now than ever for, you know, for artists, you know, and it's, you know, with the social media and everything's such a overload. You know, you don't know where to go, what to do. And Dennis, I think you said it earlier too, is how they, you know, push the prominent bands, you know, and there's never, at least in my eyes, and I know you guys, I'm sure you've seen it, they never support, you know, the guys that are kicking ass down here that sound just as good as the upper echelon bands that play just as hard as they do, and they don't get the appreciation. And, you know, do you guys feel that too, even nowadays?
Yeah, well, yeah, the bands that are out there today, like I said, man, they certainly deserve to be out there. Anybody's out there now definitely deserves it. And you know, a lot of the old school bands, you know, they're cool. You know, we kind of write old school songs. You know, I appreciate the fact that you think it has like a lot of different new kind of you know, pieces. You know, but really, man, I mean, like, you know, you listen to like, you know, you got Riley's LA Guns and you got LA Guns, you know.
Right.
And nothing to take anything away from either band. I mean, you know, I'll stick with the one that has the guy's name in it. But you know, they
That's
don't,
it.
you know, those guys write, you know, what they write. I mean, a lot of people don't, you know, write those type of songs anymore.
That's right.
It's just a different, you know, the younger generation and stuff. It's just different. That's all. You know, we're not trying to be anything that we're not. You know, it's all good. It's all good. The record labels, well, they've been certainly defeated, haven't they? They haven't really, you know, measured up to anything that they've done, certainly in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s or 90s. So the whole industry has been completely torn down for heavy metal and rock. I don't know
Right.
if Taylor Swift would agree with that. She's obviously doing fine, and you got
Right.
your Kanye Wests and that kind of stuff. Apparently they're still doing what they're doing.
Right.
Right now, I think metal just needs, the fans. Without fans, we're really nothing. If it's not guys like you and the people that support us, we really don't have much. We just try to be thankful and grateful that we could still do this.
Music is my medicine. So as long as it keeps me healthy that way, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Anything else is just a gift beyond that. So I'm ready just to keep spitting out tunes, making music, you know what I mean? And
Right.
and just like Dennis said too, it's like if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, that's okay too. Because we all like different stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
just don't jump on a platform and be a hater, okay? Save it. No.
Yeah, we don't need any haters. That's
No, we don't need no haters.
gotta have support. So
That's it.
how about any last words from you guys? Like, what is there anything you want to get out to the fans? I know we covered a lot of ground tonight, which is cool. But how about anything that's coming up? Any shows? Any new stuff that we can get excited about?
Well, we're gonna have new singles coming out all summer, starting June 1st. We'll start
Nice.
releasing, dropping more singles, and probably run till December. We got some good advertising coming out on some good sites. Metal Sludge, and they've been really good to us. Stevie Rochelle has been good to us as far as
Stevie's a cool dude. He is.
advertising. What's that?
I said Stevie's a cool dude.
Oh yeah, man.
He
Good
is.
guys wear black, man. But
That's it.
he's been around forever,
Right.
And just want to say thank you so much, John, and thank you to everybody out there on YouTube that's interested, man. And if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons there for you. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much, John, for having us on. I really appreciate it, man. If there's anything you need, you just let us know, and we'll hook you up, bro.
Thank
Yeah,
you, John.
I appreciate both you guys. I'll be spreading obviously the single that you have out, all the other stuff, and man, whenever you have new stuff out, just throw it my way. I'll hook up with you guys on Facebook, and we'll help you spread the word, because I love what you're doing.
Listen, and we'll do this again sometime too. So
Sure.
We'll do this on a live show.
all right.
We'll get
another
everything
follow-up,
rolling.
man, around 4th of July, maybe. We'll all crack a beer together or something.
That sounds good. That
Cool,
sounds good.
man.
I'll definitely, guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
have a good night, and hey, Steel Mountain Crossing, everybody that's listening in, you're gonna hear this on a recorded version, but when this comes out live, listen to these guys, because they got some good things coming up, good things rolling, and good guys too. Get out and connect with them and appreciate what they do, because that's what it's here for. And talking of Fast Lane, we love Steel Mountain Crossing, so keep doing what you're doing, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Anytime, John. Thanks a million. Have a great night, buddy.